We all think we have time. We get lazy with our goals and our desires. We put them off for tomorrow, right? Don't have enough time in the day because we're utterly so busy. Women in their masculine, high masculine time is very important. I used to be such a woman where I was always planning for what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next, and not really being present where I am right now. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Quantum Woman. I'm your host, Shamina Taylor. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about time. Time is something that I believe could either make or break you. Isn't that what the saying goes? But time is one thing that I've really come to realize that is can either be a hindrance, or it could be something that's helping us become wildly successful. You know, I feel like, well, first of all, time is man-made, and we're here having a human experience. It's man-made. I believe that how I construct and play with time has changed how I have created success. These are just my experiences. This is an alternative belief around time. It's not for you to adopt it or start exercising it, but it might allow you to create more time in your life than you currently have. A lot of women feel, and men, I don't have enough time. There's not enough time. A friend and I, we were just talking about how many years we think we have left in this lifetime. I'm currently 50. So what if I had another 50 years? But what's the quality of those 50 years? We all think we have time. We think we have so much time that we get lazy with our goals and our desires and our achievements and our dreams and our visions. We put them off for tomorrow, right? We put them off, or we just keep thinking that, in some, determined future, this event's going to happen. The other thing with time is, I don't have enough time in the day because we're utterly so busy, which is creating exhaustion around so many women that I work with. One of the biggest takeaways that women get with working with me is they start having more time making more money. So working less, but making more increases time with their life and their family. So they have more quality of life. And it's just a shift. So here's how I feel about time. I jokingly always say I'm on spiritual time because I am like a late person. It's just, if you want to call it that, I don't like labeling myself that way, but some people will, because they're very strict on time. Many men in my life, they're very time sensitive. It's a very masculine trait to be on the clock, to have a regiment of, here, very, sequential. Time is very important to very masculine people, and wounded, women in their masculine, high masculine time is very important. I found one of the things that really has helped me expand into my feminine is being more present and quality of that time that I'm in. I used to be such a woman, as you've maybe heard in previous podcasts, that episodes, where I was always planning for what's next, and not really being present where I am right now. So instead of allowing myself to have this emotions, to, be in that being energy, right? I was more, caught up in what was happening in the future. And the thing about time is, we like to relive the past. When we live in a very time structured life, we repeat the past over and over again because we don't realize that time of consciousness and has already gone, and it's, we can't control it anymore. So we just let it go. But people who are very stuck in a time, human, masculine thinking, are going to be very, very obsessive about time. Does it make you wrong that you like to be punctual? No. What I feel like is, if you are living your life by a clock and by time, by measuring what you can create in weeks and days and months and years or hours, it's not making you wrong, it's making you constricted. And one of the things that I find with people who live on this very regiment type of lifestyle, they are actually putting a cap on their success. Because in their minds, they're thinking, well, it's going to take like 5 years for me to make $1 million, or it's going to take, a year of me doing this, then I'm going to have that. It's going to take 5 months for me to lose this weight. It's going to take they've already projected in their minds the limitations that they already believe around how that success is going to come. So in essence, they're using time against themselves, right? And people say to me, why are you aging backwards? How come you look so young? How come you act so young? Because I'm present. I live right here, right now. I'm so present in my life. I like to have experiences. If I'm late for a master class or a class or a training, everybody knows I'll be late, right? Like 5-10 minutes. But they're like, she always over delivers, because when I'm in a moment with you, I'm here with you. It's not like I'm sitting here going to over deliver. I'm present, channeling, bringing through what needs to come through. I'm very intentional about how I express, be, and act with my time. And, sometimes it can, upset other people who are very punctual. And I totally get that and want to respect other people's times when it's my one-on-one, or I'm doing, calls with certain clients. I definitely am on time, but some things are just not meant to be on a clock. If you feel success can be measured in time, then I feel like you take yourself right out of that quantum energy. I thought that everybody, when they, did the work that I'm doing or similar, came into this online space, they all made $1 million. Like, I just thought that's what everybody did, because that was something that was out there, like as an expectation of a desire for me. I didn't think twice about it. I was like, oh, well, that's what's going to happen, right? So I didn't put a timestamp, like it has to happen in this many years. I just allowed myself to be open by being present every single day of my life. I'm so intentional how I wake up in the morning. I don't wake up with an alarm clock. I live my dream day every single day. I mean, I'm not one of those early risers. And I feel I think it's amazing the days that I do wake up, or I used to wake up at like 5. I got a lot done before 12 o'clock and then take a nap. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just don't live that way anymore. I like to be very intentional. I wake up when I want, go to sleep when I want. I don't want to feel like I'm constricted. I am a free spirit that way, because the more that I do this work, the more that I realize, like, when I can be in that state, I'm in flow, and take so much action still. Like, I still have this beautiful masculine energy that comes in and I get shit done. Right. But when I put myself on a ridiculous timeline, sometimes I set myself up to fail. And one of the things that I find with women who are in my world is that they have a hard time celebrating themselves, because even though they might have achieved some sort of success in their minds, they're like, I should have done this already. So I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I'm not going to celebrate it, because I should have done that already. There's always, I should have done this. I should have been there. And because they've got ridiculous time constraints on themselves of what they should have done already. I feel like there's a beautiful balance with that. There's an urgency of wanting to achieve more in a less period of time. But if you could take yourself out of the equation of that, it has to happen exactly now, guess what? It'll happen sooner. When you stop trying to say, like, it's got to be done by this date and have everything planned out. Like, there's women that have their whole lives planned out, and hallelujah, like, go girl. But that is not me, because what if an experience comes up, an opportunity comes up? Am I going to look away and shy away from it when it could be the opportunity of a lifetime because it doesn't fit my schedule? Absolutely freaking not. I meet people all the time. I'm having conversations with people in the airport, or, on the street. I'm stopping to talk to people. I'm having, these interactions that are all part of this, like that sliding doors movie, like, you just don't know what opportunities you're talking yourself out of, you're blocking yourself from, because you're so constricted by time. The quantum field is about, collapsing the time, but knowing that time, space, reality is happening right now, right? Past, present, and future is happening right now. But if you have allowed yourself to be so controlled by this time, what's going to happen is that you're missing opportunities, moments for joy, for love, for success, that you just not being open to receiving, because it's so regiment in your head of what success looks like, when it's supposed to happen. And, I think the most glorious thing is understanding that I never wanted to create a life that was run by time. I quantum leap with my success so quickly because I have not put a timeline on it. And, it's not a coincidence that every woman that comes in, not every, almost, because not everybody does the work, but almost all the women that come into my space start having their highest cash months. They start making more money because they've eliminated this mental belief that things have to happen X time, right? Women in their wounded masculine are still going to be controlled by that time. They're still going to be suffering. They're still going to be putting themselves on a complete and utter, I don't want to say setting themselves up for failure, but it really is that. Going to give you a perspective to take away. Imagine if you set yourself up for a certain level of success in a time period and you don't reach it. What are you going to feel? Excited, happy, celebratory? Or are you going to feel like you didn't do enough, a failure, you're not good enough? I'm going to tell you it's the latter all the time for high achieving alpha females, because they set themselves up to always feel like they're never there and they're never enough. It's never good enough. You have to be able to be present, allow time to dissipate sometimes in your life where you're just being in the moment. Maybe you're binge watching something on Netflix. Maybe you've just decided to not, do whatever it is you said you were going to do, but take a different path. You just don't know when you're allowing yourself to tap into that like feeling of just being so present. You might hear something. When you're so busy trying to get the checklist off, you don't leave room for yourself to be in a creative space. You don't leave room for yourself to hear, to acknowledge, to tap into this quantum field, which I do believe is our feminine energy, to allow yourself to just experience something new. And sometimes it feels lazy when you do that because it's not a norm for you. And sometimes it'll feel like it's you're behind. But what if you were just right on time? What if you were just exactly where you were supposed to be? What if you just started to look at time in a different way? Now, there's flights that you have to catch. And sometimes I'm got to tell you, I'll be heading to the airport with like minutes to spare. And all of a sudden I'll get a message, your flight's been delayed. Maybe it was me, maybe not, but I'll tell you, it's always there. Sometimes when I'm over prepared and ready for a meeting or whatever it is, it never goes as planned. Maybe because I wasn't in the moment, I was working on time instead of working on being. Who do you want to be and how do you want to act in this life? I truly believe this is for an upcoming episode. The way that I created wealth is because I became a wealthy woman before I had the wealth. So who are you being every day when you think about time, and how does it control you? Is it restricting you or is it expanding you? Are you living for every second that's gone by? Are you being present for what this time is here? The tragedy for most people in their life is that they think they have time for everything. But what if you experienced everything to the fullest right now? You sat down and ate your food slowly. You enjoyed a meal. You took time out for you. You had experiences. You stopped to hug your child. You stopped to talk to a friend. You stopped to make connections. That is the valuable essence of really being present in your life and not saying, I don't have time. This is another episode coming up, but women who are usually saying they're so busy, and it's always they're so busy. Are you really present in your life? Or are you just busy to be busy because you're running from something and you have just completely, eradicated any free time in your life so that you can just keep achieving because the validation from the success is feeding something in you that really isn't how you want to feel, but what you think you need to be whole, complete, and feeling worthy. That was a big one I just dropped. And I'll talk about that coming up, but feel into that. That was a whole word. I want you to process that because that was big. I want to tell you I love you. Thank you for listening. And maybe you're somebody that's consuming all of these all at once. You can. I love that. Or you can watch one, listen to one a day. However you want. There's no rules. You get to make them. You get to be present. You get to see what feels right. Tap into your heart. What is it saying to you? Your mind will tell you time. Your heart will tell you presence. Which one do you want to be today? If you enjoy this episode, please give me your feedback. If you enjoyed it so much, I would love to hear from you, and maybe you want to leave me a review. If you want to expand maybe and feel into something different, I would go check out my wealth meditation on my website. It'll help you be present, even if you've never meditated before. And if you have meditated before, it might just help you click into something new that you just haven't, experienced before. Go join my Quantum Woman group. Connect with me in all the socials, YouTube, TikTok, Shamina Taylor, and stay tuned for a new episode coming in. I hope you're enjoying this. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And my loves, go experience being, and maybe just turn time off for a little bit and allow yourself to breathe. You'll stop being so exhausted. You'll start being more present. You'll start enjoying things in a way that you never have before. All right. Bye for now.